Recruiting Animal here on what's the date today, David M. Marr?
24th.
April 24. It's 24/04/24. That's pretty good. Okay. And I've got with me David M. Marr. Even though he's the only person here right now, we're going to be talking to his picture rather than his image, as usual. Okay. But we're going to let him get away with it because David M. Marr just got a permanent job and he's going to reveal some of the recruiting process. So he was recruited for this position. He didn't look for it. They called him. Am I right about that? Yes or no, David M. Marr?
That is correct.
Okay. So what did you get? A phone call, an email? What was the recruiting? How did a LinkedIn notice? How did it go?
It started off with an initial LinkedIn message.
And what did it say? Was there a subject line?
Let me look. I don't think so. I think it was just a message of saying, hey, I don't know if you're open to this, but your background aligns with the position we have.
And so the person found you on LinkedIn. What keywords or how did you come up? How did he identify you as a potential candidate?
He told me he used artificial intelligence to generate some Boolean search strings that took a potential job description that the company was utilizing or playing around with to figure out what they exactly needed. And my profile was one of 3 that matched what they were looking for. And
so that's pretty interesting because I posted something this week. A guy said AI is useless for sourcing. You're telling me right now he just took a job description, which I'm assuming was very well done. You can comment on that in a minute. So he took a job description, wrote some prompts. We don't know which AI tool he was using yet, and that generated some really good Boolean string to identify somebody as good as you. Do I have that right?
Basically, yes.
Basically, or yes or no?
Yes, I didn't see the job description he used, so.
Okay, so you don't know. I thought maybe you got a chance to look at it after. But
no.
Do you think it must have been fantastic? So there was something special about it that helped him? I'm just trying to ascertain how good AI is to help people sourcing. Any comments on that from your experience in the search?
So they are a specialized company. So I believe that the reason my profile was one of 3 that was found is because I have a lot of the keywords and I've worked on a lot of the types of positions before that this company focuses on. And that's how my profile came to being, or one of the 3 versus.
Okay. So, but have you, let me just sidetrack for a second. Have you used AI to create Boolean strings yourself?
I do, but I tend to write them mostly by hand. I do it kind of like to do the massive OR statements that you do sometimes. So instead of me going and, like, let's say doing an OR statement of the top 20, I don't know, retail companies, I basically use it and say, make me a Boolean string using OR statements of, the top 20 retailers in the United States or whatever. And then it basically does that for me. And that's what I use as opposed to having it write everything.
And which tool are you using?
I'm dabbling with a bunch of them, but I use ChatGPT and Bard right now, probably the most.
ChatGPT, and what was the other one?
Bard. It's Google.
B-A-R-D. Okay, yeah. And ChatGPT, are you using the paid service or the free?
I'm using the free right now because
you cheapskate. He's a sorcerer,
Hey, it has to do with
Are they now these new guys? So let's just go through that. So you replied. How did you reply to this person's? It was a short email. His was a short note.
LinkedIn message. It says, "David, I'm recruiting for an experienced researcher sourcer and very intrigued by your experience. Thought we don't have history together. I'd like to chat. Let me know if we can talk." And then.
So you liked that note? You thought it was good?
Well, yeah. I mean, somebody approached me. That's normally how most of my jobs have come along.
Okay. So what did you reply? What did you reply to this fellow?
I said, "Hey, I can chat after 4:30 p.m. Central if this works for you. If not, I have some other flexibility on Fridays." And I basically provided him my cell number.
Okay. And so you had the conversation. How long was the initial screen?
It was more of a conversation as opposed to a screen.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to pitch me on the idea of working there potentially,
Yeah.
and basically kind of to pick my brain. So we basically talked through where the company's at currently and what they're looking for, and kind of what my experience was that might be relevant, and kind of what my thoughts were if I was interested. And I said yes, and I basically talked through my experience in
And
that space.
how soon did he bring up what are you looking for? How much money?
Well, he didn't. He said he didn't know because he's consultant, and he was basically unofficially helping recruit for it. So,
Do you
he
believe him?
basically,
Do you believe that?
yeah, I do.
You believe so they gave him or was he doing this on his own?
He
Or
was
did
doing this on his own because he was
okay,
basically helping a former vice president of his
wait a
that
second.
was
So they didn't tell him how much they were willing to pay and say, go ahead, see if you can find someone for us?
correct. Basically, they didn't know that they needed this role, and it was at his consultation.
Oh, okay. So
Potential.
he didn't even have a search.
Correct. Yeah, it wasn't
He
like
made it up himself.
correct. He was basically doing it to help his
So
former
did
chief
he
of staff.
reveal to you? Did he say, Dave, look, they don't know they need somebody, but I know they do, and I want to. So I'm talking to people like you, and I want to present you to them to create the position. Okay.
Basically, yep, that's kind of
And
how
so
it came about.
he revealed that from the start.
Yes.
Okay, and so you didn't mind that.
No.
In fact, you found it intriguing. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I like the industry they're in and the type of work and roles.
No. The fact that you're going into this company and you're going to be breaking new ground.
Yes, for me at this point, because of the amount of experience I have, at some point you got to figure out ways to grow yourself and use your prior experiences and knowledge.
But
And
were you concerned at all that, well, this company doesn't really understand what I do. They did not know they needed somebody like me. Am I going to meet all kinds of resistance at every turn? Am I going to have to, well, let me finish, Dave. Am I going to have to justify everything I want to do? Did you have that concern?
No, I don't worry about that because I anticipate that and I work through it. Basically, I'm going in.
Actually, the first thing I would be worried about. The second,
I don't worry.
Okay. Well, concerned. You must have had to say, "Look, I don't want to. I want to go in there and be able to do my job. I don't want these guys, trying to pull the rug out from me every step I take." The second thing I'd be worried about is, are they willing to spend on any tools? Okay, like for instance, hey, if I'm doing research for this company, are they willing to pay for ChatGPT so I have the enhanced version? Did you talk to them about tools? Did you ask
I did. So after my initial conversation with that gentleman, I spoke with the head of the talent acquisition team, and basically they told me kind of what the current state looks like, and what they're thinking.
Well, you said they have no talent acquisition team.
No, they don't have a sourcer or a researcher. They have a talent acquisition team.
Okay, so they have recruiters in there.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So this role would basically be coming in and helping to establish a sourcing and research function, and help make the recruiters that much more efficient. So basically, 2x or 4x productive wise.
Okay, were they happy to get you? Or I don't want you to reveal, but I would be concerned that, well, these people might say, hey, I don't want Dave coming in and taking my job, right? By being so good at what he does.
No, it's not about competition. It's about partnership. So when I go into a company as a sourcer, I'm not competing against recruiters. I'm basically working as an extension of them because I have the bandwidth to source and do research that benefits the positions that ultimately they work on, and help win over.
I know the proper thing to say. That's not what I want to say. When did you get to talk about money? Because this is a big recruiting issue and even a sourcer's issue. When does the money come up?
They asked what I was looking for. Basically,
when did they ask?
At the conversation I had.
At the first 5 minutes?
No, during the course of the conversation.
So the screener, the consultant, didn't say, Dave, before I go back, let's make sure we're on. What are you looking for? He didn't do that?
No, he did ask, but he didn't know anything. So that's why he said you would have a more.
Oh, so you already though gave him a figure or a range? Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And so when you went in for the follow-up, the first interview, it was on the phone as well, right?
Correct.
Not Zoom.
Correct.
Okay. And so when did they get to the money talk? How many minutes went by before that came up?
Probably halfway through our conversation.
Which is how many minutes?
About 30
Okay.
minutes, 30 minutes of a 60-minute conversation.
And you weren't concerned. You weren't concerned about that.
No,
Why not?
because I'm looking for a full-time position, and this is exactly what they want. And I've worked in these types of environments before, and based upon the information that the other gentleman shared with me, it was something I was anticipating, and I know that.
But lots of people say, look, I don't want to spend time talking to these guys just to have them lowball me at the end of the conversation, right? Or after 4 interviews. So you didn't, but you weren't concerned about that. You trusted that they would be reasonable. Am I right about that?
Yep. And the reason I did is because they came after me. I didn't apply to them.
There's no guarantee.
No, there's no guarantees in life, but it's better to go where you're celebrated than where you're tolerated.
Okay.
And since they came after me, that's in my mind celebration.
And those other 2 people, in addition to you, did they also go in for interviews? So you're free to
I
say.
don't know the answer to that. It doesn't sound like it because they moved pretty quickly.
Okay, how long did it take from the initial message till you accepted the position?
I spoke with the gentleman basically the same day, and then I had a conversation with the head of talent acquisition the following day, and then I had one other Zoom interview with the recruiting team, and then a week went by, and then I had an offer. They said they were working on an offer, and then they came back with the offer.
So it took a week.
Yeah, approximately, yes.
Okay. And did they ask you for references?
Yes, they did.
Oh, yeah? Really? And what kind of people did you give for references?
Former bosses and former colleagues I've worked with, given 4 references, but most of the time, though, reference checks are not really something that's done anymore. I haven't had somebody ask for a reference in probably 10 plus years.
It's so strange because I used to do very detailed reference checks, and whenever possible, I talked to people that they didn't even give me. I don't even know if that's allowed anymore, you know?
No, they consider that a backdoor reference. And on
Yeah.
the corporate side, that's considered no,
Isn't
because it
that
can open you up to litigation.
I used to get a lot of information, you know. The best information would come when you ask a question and the former manager pauses. You know the answer, right? It's a negative, and he or she doesn't want to say it, right? So
Exactly.
that gives you a lot of information. So and was there anything that you checked out? Like, am I going to be a personality or culture fit in this company? Did you have
Once,
those concerns?
no, but I did research the company once I knew what the company was and kind of read through their website and referenced them in terms of culture, what current like through Glassdoor and Indeed.
Well,
And
it's okay. So
All.com.
tell us what are the check boxes you looked at when you were estimating or measuring the culture of the company?
For me, I was looking for ideally a company that had a remote policy.
Yeah.
Because I've worked remotely for about the last 12 years.
Uh-huh.
And the culture there basically very much aligns with that. They haven't officially marketed themselves as a remote first culture, but talking with the director of TA, that's something that they're in the process of working on.
Okay, I wouldn't consider that culture. I thought, okay, what about working style? Are they rigid about anything that you know?
No, I mean they have a good company culture that aligns with my values. Let me see.
Do they call you by your first name or do they call you Mr. Marr?
David.
David, and you call them by their first names?
Yeah, I mean,
I just had a strange, on one of these very hot social button issues. I never insult anybody on Twitter, but sometimes you ask a question or make a comment, and people take it the wrong way. And this person said, after one of the accusations she made about me, about that I was condescending, and I assumed she didn't know anything. And she said, you're not my friend. How can you call me by my first name? I said, that's what you got your name listed there. What am I going to call you by? Right.
Yeah.
So, I guess Ms. something or other, or she claimed to be a doctor, Dr. So-and-so. What's the point? I called her by her name, like Betty. I didn't think it was a crime, but some people obviously think, if you use a first name, it's terrible. But you didn't have an experience or concern like that, right?
No, not at all.
we're coming to the end of our little portion here, but I'm going to give. I want to give Palermo Rhodes. What's the sign of the? They've got, down in Sicily, they've got a lot of hand signs.
The only one I know is this
hang
one.
loose. That's Hawaiian. This is.
I'm talking more about like evil eye things. I shouldn't joke him. He's 100 years away.
I love you. That's the evil eye.
But you're 100 years away from Sicily, right? So it's just in the company name, right?
My mom used to do this.
Yeah.
My mom.
Yeah.
I want you to congratulate David and Mark. He got a full-time permanent job. Don't go like that to him, okay?
Congratulations, Dave.
And we were just running through. It took a week. A guy got in touch with him on LinkedIn. A week later, he was accepting the position.
Oh, that's awesome, man! Congratulations.
Well, so the interview process took a week, and then it took him a week to get the offer.
Okay. So, do you have any questions for him about? I was quizzing him about the process. Are you curious about how these things happen, or not? Do you want to ask him any questions about that, Palermo Rhodes?
About
how he got hired? Okay.
Oh, sure. Like, so did they find you on? Like, yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Okay. Now I asked all those questions, and you're just
you
don't have any burning. I have a burning question. Oh, how did it work to recruit a recruiter? Okay. So, but you don't have anything. Okay. Look. What about this? Refuse to make bad offers. Don't make an offer is going to make your candidate mad. I know there's some different opinions about that. Does anybody want to comment on it?
I would agree with that. If you know
I'll do it to prove it.
You got in there first, Palermo. Go ahead.
If you know a candidate is looking for a specific range and your hiring manager or client comes back with something that's below that range, what I do is I let them know this is not an offer that they'll accept based upon my conversation. If the offer doesn't come within this range, they're going to pull out of the process. And I don't waste my time,
So you will refuse. You will say, Look, Billy, I am not going back there. My candidate's going to hate me. He'll think I'm no good. It'll undermine my professional image.
Yeah, I basically make a strong case not to. And then depending upon circumstances, if they're adamant about it being extended for an education purpose, I will let the candidate know. I let them know what you're looking for. I know this is not what you're looking for, but I'm going to share it with you because they've asked me to. If you're willing to accept it, I wanted to give you that option and not let me,
Okay, I'm looking for something a bit more spicy. That's a spicy meatball from Palermo Rhodes.
What do you want? What do you want from me now? So I'll do it to make a point, right? I'll be like, see, I told you he wasn't going to take it, kind of thing, right? I'll do it to make a point.
No, okay. First off, wait. Well, you're going jumping the gun. Tom, I want you to make him an offer for 100, even though he asked for 120. What are you going to say to me?
No, we talked about this from day one, that he's making $111,000. He's not going to take a penny less than 120. What happened? We're not making him out. You want to make him that offer? Make him that offer. I'm not making him an offer. You and I have been talking about this for the last 2 months. You've been interviewing. Why are you lowballing him now? I want answers. That's not. This is one of those things where it's like nobody is consulting to their client the way they should be. If a client gives you an offer, it says, here, make this offer, and it's significantly lower, you haven't been talking to the client. You haven't been pre-closing your candidate.
Okay.
But
in the end, are you going to capitulate like David M. Marr did and say, look, I'll make a sheepish offer to my candidate just because I'm forced to. I have no choice. Will you go back to the candidate and make that offer? Or will you say, listen, Mr. Client,
I'll tell them to make it. I'll tell them to make it.
How will you say it? Oh, you can do that yourself. How will you say that?
I say he is not going to accept this, so I want you to make the offer so you can hear it from his lips.
What am I paying you for? Okay, you telling me to do it?
You're not paying me to make offers. You're not paying me to make offers.
Yes, I am.
Where in my contract does it say I make offers?
That's part of the full service.
No. I bring you the candidates that are qualified position. I help you interview them, get them into the thing. I don't make offers. I don't do reference checks.
David M. Marr, what's going to happen when he tells his client, no, you make the offer yourself? I wash my hands of this. What do you say, David M. Marr? What's going to happen?
It depends on the relationship, but I would anticipate probably they'll do it, but they may not be happy about it.
Yeah, I don't think they would do it.
But
It's a relationship thing. Like this has never happened to me. I've in my 26 years. Well, that's not true. I have to look back. But I said any relationship that I have with a client, they if they give me an offer that I know is not going to be turned down, I will say, hey, he's not going to take that. What do you want to do?
Okay.
And no one has ever said, "We'll make it. Let's see what happens." I've
Okay.
never had that I can
Okay,
remember.
hold on a sec. Hi, Sasha. Listen to this, okay? Yesterday, I had the honor of offering a candidate a position at $20,000 over his desired compensation. The company offered him more. I don't know why exactly. She said, most of my clients want a low ball or just hit the minimum request. Oh, he's running away now. He can't handle the feedback. They offer low balls. That's more common. It's not uncommon for them to try to lowball a candidate. Would you agree with that, David M. Marr, or say that no, they don't usually try to undercut the recruiter either?
yeah, I mean, sometimes the decisions are made above people's pay grades, and
Okay.
lowballing is never a good strategy, in my opinion.
No, but it obviously this woman said it happens. Sasha Tasanovic. Okay, I'm saying your surname correctly after all this time, right?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay. Do your offer a candidate lower than what he said he wanted?
Oh, just happened to me this week.
What did you do? Did you say to your boss, "Hey, I'm not doing that. He wants 20."
I asked for clarification and for reasoning behind offering lower than what they initially asked for. And the answer I received is that they don't feel with that experience they had that they're bringing to the table, less than 1 year in particular, that they're deserving the higher amount and the amount that they asked for. But again, they accepted interviewing candidates with no experience, and those same candidates would go under the same rate that the experienced candidate was offered. So
What happened
yeah,
in the end?
make it short.
What happened?
Well, I'm waiting on the answer from the
Well,
candidate,
but
and
you
I'm
went back
willing
to
to
the candidate
negotiate.
And you said, oh, Billy, I'm so sorry, but they don't want to pay what you want.
No, the thing is, I'm internal recruiter. I just send an offer,
Okay.
accept it or, we're
Tommy,
gonna
I just
go further.
you ran away just when we got to the part.
I was listening.
Yeah.
But I don't like that, and I don't support that. I don't believe it's a good image for a company.
Yeah, I don't believe it's a good image as well. And I would say, hey, I'm not doing it. Okay. I kind of like what it's percolating in my mind. You think that's decent behavior? You go do it. Okay. But the thing is, if the client did it and the candidates accepted, would that make me look dumb? Is your wife calling you, Tom? Someone said,
No,
Tom.
I'm listening. I'm trying to. Would it make you look dumb? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, if that means that you're not doing your job. You're not. You have
What's got feedback there? What's got feedback?
What?
What's all that back? Are those evil spirits or something? What's all that noise?
That's my toddler in the background.
Oh yeah, it's not
I'm gonna
mine.
mute myself.
Yeah, so that is a bad relationship you have with the candidate, right? If the candidate's been telling you the whole time, I'm only going to take $5 an hour, and all of a sudden they take $3, what did you do
These
wrong?
are the evil spirits in the background.
What did you do wrong? Right? Like that's the standard. Like you didn't have any control. You didn't know what was going on. You we're doing this, right? You were doing this. We get so many recruiters that do this when they get offers.
Okay. The other thing there is, so you're suggesting that the problem there is the recruiter didn't press back and tell the candidate you're a bit high.
Yeah, or okay, so I'll do something like, we start talking and this job pays 80,000. Well, I need 84. So you tell me you're going to turn this down for 83, right?
Okay.
And stuff like that. And then I'll say, well, wait a second. You say you want 84. What is that based on? Because you're doing how much do you pay for benefits? What do you give for a bonus? How far do you drive to work every day? Is this hybrid? This is remote? Because you got to start crunching those numbers too. When the offers are close, you got to look at and intangibles that you could add together. If they're paying $400 a month for health insurance, but your client pays for all of it, right? That's a $4,800 swing. So if he's expecting 84 and they only offer him 81, but his medical's paid for, that's actually a friggin' raise.
How do you bring up the medical? Is that always part of your discussion?
Yeah, I forgot. In Canada, you don't have it, but yeah, every company has a medical plan, and they either pay a small portion, all of it, or none of it, or whatever. So you got to figure out, like, you say to a candidate, okay, what's your base salary? My base salary is 55. Do you get a bonus? Yeah, we get $500 for Christmas. Okay. Ever get bigger bonuses? No. Okay. How about benefits? Well, we have medical and dental. It's with Aetna, and it costs me $600 a month. Right. So that's his package. Right. And then I took my client. Well, let me know the salary is going to be like $2,000 cheap lower, but their medical's fully paid for, and it's Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and there's no deductible. Plus, they average bonuses average 2,000. Nothing's guaranteed, but last 5 years everybody got $2,000. So he could take less money and make more money. That's our job.
Okay. Anybody else want to talk about that? I thought it was a good conversation. I like that. Okay. Here's something similar. Okay. This guy said, if the candidate insists to the recruiter that she needs to talk to the employer about the job before she can tell you what she wants, she's out. If she won't tell the recruiter at the start, this is what I'm looking for, don't present her to the company. Anybody want to comment on that?
Again, it's
situational.
Highly recruited candidate who's currently working and employed, and I had to use a couple rebuttals on. Yeah, I'll set them to talk with my client, right? Without talking about compensation at first to see if they like each other.
What will you say to the client? Hey, look, I don't know what she's earning, because you're a guy who does not like to go talk to your client and say, I don't know anything about, there's something I don't know about.
But again, that's why I said first two things. One, my nevers of recruiting have exceptions. And number two, everything is situational. So if for some reason, I'll throw one out there. Let's say I get this search right now. I'm looking for a team leader. If I had a candidate today that was like, Tom, I'm happy. Things are well here. I'd be open to talking to Jeff and doesn't want to share the comp. I'm going to call Jeff. Hey, Jeff, we got somebody. Highly recruited, wouldn't share comp with me. They got a good background. They're willing to talk to you. Can you do a conversation on your drive to him tonight? Kind of like an open conversation, see how it goes. Then I'll get more information for you afterwards. Jeff would be like, absolutely.
Okay. Is there any situation in which you would not present a candidate who refuses to give you any salary information? Because sounds like now anybody could just say, Tom, I'm not talking salary. Not with you.
I mean, is there any? I have to think about that. Probably where I'm gonna be like, dude, if you're not willing to, discuss compensation, even in a roundabout, I'll say, look, we're looking to bring somebody on between 75 and 85. Is that gonna work for you? And if they're not willing to discuss any of that, no, like that means they're tire kicking, and I don't have time for them.
Okay, unless it's a super fantastic candidate that you could
like I said, it's situational. Right, 9 times out of 10, I can get someone to tell me what they're making. Right, I can have a conversation with them. We start talking about life in general. Next thing you know, he's like, "Well, currently my base is X, and I get this, that, and the other thing." Right, very rarely will someone not share their total comp. They may say, "I'm making around this."
In principle, okay.
Yeah.
David M. Marr is on mute. If you want to say something, David M. Marr, since you're going to be sourcing, I assume you're doing the initial screens with these people as well in your new job. Sasha, Dave got a new job. I don't know if he started yet.
Congrats, Dave.
Yeah. Okay. So he's doing the sourcing for this company that has never had a full-time sourcer before. They've just got a recruiting team. And
good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's what I said. He's got a lot to break ground. He said no problem.
I've been doing this a long time. It's not my first rodeo.
But
chances are you're going to impress the hell out of them too.
Yes. So I'm going to be screening candidates. Yes. So
okay. And so what if someone won't say, look, Dave, I'm not talking money with you. Send me into the company.
Never had it happen.
What?
Never had it happen.
What if it did? Don't you guys have an
imagination? Very often.
What if
somebody doesn't want to share what their salary information is? I give them an example that happened to one of my former colleagues. Basically, the person didn't refuse to share her salary, went through the whole interviewing process. They got an offer that they thought was fair. The candidate was insulted because they thought they were worth so much more. They knew what the salary range was because it was posted on the job description. and they still wanted to go through the interviewing process. So I point them back to, okay, the job description posted is this, what are you looking for? What's your target salary? Because you can't ask now with a lot of the state laws and legislation, like what's your current base salary, Tom? And, how does your bonus work? And when is your equity payout? You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, everybody's muted except you and me. But you can open your mic.
Yeah. So yeah, I know you're not supposed to ask, right? So I'm a third party recruiter, and go ahead and sue me. I don't care. And I don't do it in a way that's what I feel is very confrontational, right?
Okay, but David M. Marr was what David M. Marr.
He can't. He works for.
No, but the point was they won't even tell you what they want. That's what we're talking about. Okay, would you present someone to the company who won't give you a clue about money, what they're earning, or what they want? Yes or no?
90% of the time, no.
Well, not you. We already
It depends on the position and how many candidates there are. Normally, my gut tells me if the person is not willing to work with the process, they're going to be a problem later in the process. So,
what does the kid say? Would he take him?
Hey guys, I gotta go. I got a meeting. I'll talk to you.
Okay, thanks for dropping in, Tom. Take care. Sasha, would you, if someone said, Sasha, I'm not talking money with you, I'll talk with the company when they see me.
Well,
It's okay. I don't mind them talking.
Yeah, I'm gatekeeping. The thing is that I cannot let them pass if they don't finish. He wants to hear you as well.
What's his name? What's his name?
His name is Lav.
What? Spell it.
L-A-V.
Love. Oh, okay.
Love.
Like love.
Yeah, like love.
L-O-V-E. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we'll be lovey-dovey.
Well, I wouldn't be able to recommend them further if I don't have some understanding of what salary they're looking for. So in like 95% of interviews, I get the final rate that they're asking for.
Okay, good. So we're at the end of time, but I want to ask one more question. Okay, you guys.
And another thing, because according to Equal Employment, we need to make sure that we are advertising our rates. So I want to make sure, I need to make sure that they are within our pay range.
They could still apply for the job, or even if people apply for jobs when they don't have any of the requirements. See, it could be they don't have a salary requirement. They want something outrageous. They'll still apply and figure they can negotiate
happens.
Okay, this is for both of you before we finish off. I call this generational gobbledygook, okay? Washington Post had an article. It says, now you've got baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z all working in the same office. If you're a manager, you can't communicate with them all the same way, especially when you're offering criticism. I think that's probably nonsense, okay?
I have something to bring up on that.
Go ahead.
Ajde,
doesn't love speak English. Tell them it's an English-speaking show, okay?
I know. You're gonna cut this. You're gonna cut this. I have a coworker who's a millennial. He's a millennial, and I brought several things that he's not doing the way he should, and he didn't receive that well.
Well, would an older person handle it better? I find people are all sensitive, no matter what age they are. They're stupid and ridiculous, and you have to walk on eggshells with them. It's not because they're 20.
Yeah, well, he's not 20. He's close to 40. And I spoke afterwards with my supervisor, and she said, yeah, like, you did everything good. I'm not sure what is happening here. You need to make a call with them. And then when I suggested that we have a call, I got one ignore response, and the other response from another coworker was, I'm emotionally incapable of having this conversation today. And I was like, what the fuck, people? I mean, come on, you need to get your shit together when you're in work.
Hey, everybody,
Don't take
she knows how
things
to speak
personally.
English. She knows how to speak English, okay? What the fuck? Get your shit together. Hey, she might as well be in America. David M. Marr, do you notice that you have to speak to people from different generations differently?
But it could be possible.
I don't look at it generationally. I look at it. I talk to people differently. Like when you speak in groups, there's definitely different things that general baby boomers like versus millennials versus Gen Z. But as far as like individual conversations, it's different. It's customized to the individual.
Okay, so that individual, but that there's no overlap with generational issues when it's an individual. Is that what you're telling me? If you're speaking to me and you're speaking to Sasha, which is a big age gap, I'll tell you, okay? Is it different because I'm older than her?
Most likely because I'd be respectful to you because you're my elder.
Don't respect me. Okay,
Of course.
look at you can't get a straight answer out of these guys, but he's got a new job. He's got to look good on screen now. Okay, and but we're gonna finish off. I know all this stuff is nonsense, except I have to tell. No, I would tell something that it might. I have to watch what I say. I might be misinterpreted, even if the joke's on me. Okay, I do have a request though. If Lovey is gonna participate in this show, he's got to start learning to speak English, at least like you do. If he can swear, if he knows how to swear, I'll let him out. He can say whatever he wants. David M. Marr.
Hey, he knows something. He knows something. Как ты, Алекс, учи? Что ти, Алекс, каже? Ajde, kaži. Kako ti kaže? Gdje? Kako ti kaže, Алекс? Ajde, kaži. Aha, da čujem? Kako? Kako kaže, Алекс? Gdje?
Good day.
I love you.
I love you. Jebika.
Niet
Good day, I
mooi
love you. And Jebika at the end is like
Niet
Serbian.
mooi moes.
Okay, you got Dave talking Russian now. Okay, let's wish David M. Marr the best of luck. Those guys are lucky to get him. If you're watching this show, new employer, you're lucky to get this guy, and we're happy that he graces us every now and again. Lovey, nice to meet you. Sasha Tasanovic, always happy to see you here. Bye, everybody. Take care.